hi. I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. Welcome to my Quinjet. As you can see behind me, I have all the controls necessary to be following Santa along with his journey across this globe. Today, Christmas 2024. So you may be wondering, why am I here in this lovely Quinjet cockpit? Why am I following Santa around the globe? Well, that's because for the good boys and girls of the Marvel fandom, especially the Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux fandom, I figured I would piggyback on his route just to deliver some good news. And that good news is, Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux-Beta 6 isn't here to test quite yet, at least for the average Joe. As of right now, Beta 6 has officially gone into full closed beta testing. So what does that mean? You may want a little bit of an explanation of that. How does that differ from what you've been seeing on the channel or what has been discussed on Discord or Facebook or Reddit and things like that? The difference is the version that I was using for streaming and videos like the Friday night, the chill Friday night ambiance videos that I was doing, or the Thursday night PvP fights and everything, they were always filmed in beta 5.9, and that had been that way since, I think, the early summer or so. What is going to be happening in the future is those videos will still be filmed on 5.9 just to keep up certain programs. However, to an expanded closed beta set, and that is the beta testers of 5.9 and now some others, including some Mac testers. We are now actually going to be testing the 75-80% foundation of what you guys are going to get in the future, and that is officially beta 6. I'm still going to be streaming in 5.9. Like I said, and the videos, especially like the Thursday night ones, will be taking place in 5.9, and that includes one that will be out tomorrow, another PvP video. But Beta 6 is going to be tested off camera. You may wonder, well, okay, Napalm, how does that affect me? What exactly does that mean? Is there any kind of an ETA as of yet? There is no ETA as of yet because we have to dive in there and kind of discover what bugs are in Beta 6 that weren't in 5.9, what has come through, etc., etc. However, it does mean that Beta 6 is becoming a near eventuality. Goofy has been releasing a lot of screenshots about the updates to Beta 6 and everything recently. They're on Discord, they're on Facebook. I did a video on it recently, but I wanted to go ahead and show you that Beta 6 actually exists. It's right here, Beta 6 closed. So this is a closed beta test, just like 5.5, 5.6, 5.9. However, the testing personnel, the testing roster has expanded because this is getting very close to completion. For a while, the actual real coding squad, like Goofy and Bridget Rocks and some others, they were testing off of build 5.10. So where I was doing a lot of public showcasing of 5.9, the coders were making tweaks, running it in 5.10, seeing if the tweaks were catching or if they were breaking other things. So they were working even in a version higher than mine. This test right here, Beta 6, is universal among the coders and the expanded testing roster. So I wanted to go ahead and show you guys that this exists. It's getting close to a release now. Again, no ETA as of yet. Actually, let me make sure I don't drop this into a folder. I want it to go here. So you're going to watch its expansion and everything like this. I'll walk you guys through the folders just so you can see what it looks like when it's expanded and everything like that. And of course, when Beta 6 releases and I do a release video, I will go ahead and show you how to extract this and make sure things are all in their right place in the folder structure, but I'll show you here just as a little bit of a precursor to it. So to answer some questions that you may have, no, saves from the older versions are not going to come forward. The reason being is that the save file for beta 5.2 is missing what is being called as keys to the kingdom. The keys to the kingdom guides you through the tutorial, even though some of us are probably super Spartans and we're level 300 plus when the game died on Facebook. Everybody has to start at square zero. It's the best way to have a base. Plus, that account data doesn't exist anymore. The game has to assume that you are new and need a little bit of hand-holding, because there are plenty of fans, and this is surprising, but there are plenty of fans like channel regular Young Nagatsune, who is new and never played MAA prior to Redux. So you're going to go through the tutorial, and that code does not exist in the save files for beta 5.2. I could break it down and show you exactly what that looks like, but we're not doing that anymore. We're not promoting a dive into the save files. As a matter of fact, let me warn you guys now, and this will come out in the beta 6 release video. Do not try to manipulate beta 6 in any way, shape, or form. The cheat buttons are now gone, and they are replaced by their actual buttons that they're supposed to be, like the PVAI button, like the research button, etc. Do not attempt to modify your save file. This is a warning now, before beta 6 even comes out, and it'll be reiterated again several times. Trying to manipulate the save files for beta 6 will result in a full loss of data. Don't do it. Some people talk about a lighter level of manipulating it, and that is changing the date on your PC so that you could jump forward in time a little bit to make like 48-hour research or training a little bit easier. Don't try to do that either. Not only do you risk bricking the save file again, just like trying to manipulate it more directly, it's often the case that people are not particularly skilled at it, and they can do things like mess up research and hero training time. Things of a direct cheating nature, like a save editor, things of a more minor cheating realm, like date screwing or date fucking, as I used to call it, don't do that. Don't try to like find leet hacks or memory editor or anything like that. Play the game the way the game is intended. The developers respect your time. The more you play the game, the bigger the reductions are to the timers in the game. So for example, if you are training Black Widow and Hawkeye and they each have an hour for training, but you are continuing to play the game and you're getting into battles with other characters like, say, Thor and Hulk, every battle you do takes 10 minutes off of timers. So whether you're researching something that takes an hour or you're training somebody that takes an hour, every battle you do takes 10 minutes off of that. So an hour, 60 minutes, if you're doing 6 battles, which is very easily one mission, one Spec Ops mission, one story mission, you have now reduced your timer by an hour, and those people are going to come up. The same is true for your flight decks. If your flight decks are 20 minutes, a lot of people would spam 20-minute flight decks to build their resources, an easy experience back in the day. 2 battles and a 20-minute flight deck is done. Plus, it's still counting while you do those battles. So in all actuality, if you do 1 battle, and for some reason it takes you 10 minutes to do it, 10 minutes for the battle, 10 minutes for the timer reduction, there's your 20 minutes. 1 battle, and your 20 minutes is done. Play the game the way Goofy and the other developers intended it. So, as you can see here, Beta 6 is there. The folder structure of it will look something like this. Your saves will be blank. If you try to bring over older saves, especially 5.2 saves, and that is the saves you guys have. It is the most recently available version of it. It will break. It will actually reset that save file to square zero. And since the save files are written on the fly, that save file that you've copied over to Beta 6's folders will now be shot. Of course, if you copied it, it's still going to be intact where it came from. So if you copied it from the 5.2 directory, like these, it'll still be there. But the moment you bring it into 6 and try to launch it, it will break and it will die. And I will show you that when the Beta 6 video comes out, just as a form of troubleshooting. Like, hey, if you're seeing this problem, that's because you brought the save file through. The next question is, okay, Napalm, that sucks that all my progress in Beta 5.2 is going to be reset, but that's cool. But tell me, when I start playing Beta 6, will it ever be reset again? Goofy has officially stated the hope is no. When Beta 6 goes into the next major beta, not a minor patch like here's this fix, here's that fix. When it gets into the next major beta, like say 7, the Season 2 content stuff, for example, it should come forward, because the biggest thing is the keys to the kingdom. Those lines in the save file that say, yes, you have gone through the tutorial, no, you have not cheated, you're now going to proceed through the game in a proper linear fashion. Your stories, your Spec Ops, your PvP. When you hit certain Spec Ops milestones, uniforms unlock, gear gets into the store, etc., etc. So, those keys to the kingdom will always exist in the files going forward. So, let's say Beta 7 drops half a year, 3/4 of a year from now you're doing Season 2 content. The code that is making the older versions incompatible with 6 will be in your file, and it should be compatible with 7. Now, of course, anything can change in the world of coding, but Goofy will know well ahead of time what will happen in future betas, and the information will be out there. But he is under a severe hope that there will be no more resets going forward. Another big question a lot of people have, and this one's been coming up more frequently lately, what about other languages? What'll happen for the Portuguese-speaking player, the Spanish-speaking players, Turkish, Filipino? There are translation teams in place. However, the game will be in English until the game goes final, and that's when the translation teams will have their work put into the game. So you could set the language to be Portuguese, Spanish, Turkish, etc. I don't know of all the translation teams yet. However, if you are a multi-language or dual language person, especially if one of those languages are English, but if you know, let's say, English and French or English and Italian, make sure you hop over to Discord and talk to people to be part of a translation team if there isn't already. Bridget Rocks is usually the go-to person to talk to for coding-related stuff. I will put a comment down below if there's somebody else to talk to about translations, but for now, probably the best person to talk to about that is Bridget Rocks, or BR, as we often call him. So things are really shaping up over here. Again, don't really have an ETA yet when Beta 6 will go open. Beta 6 was released to the expanded closed beta set at about 7:30 Eastern Time on Christmas. So people have already started weighing in on some of what they're seeing. And as you might expect, it's not 100% perfect. Goofy has already talked about a few minor patches to fix things. That is why it's not in open beta yet, because if we were to release everything now, like Merry Christmas, here's Beta 6, everybody's going to love us. Thank you, Goofy. Thank you, Napalm, for telling us. Thank you, coding team. Thank everybody else. I'm so happy. Merry Christmas. This beats the Doom Christmas and everything like that. But then you start running into issues and everything, you're going to get frustrated. There doesn't seem to be any progression breaking bugs yet, which is good, but the little things are going to start needling you and everything. If you wait a little bit and you get a beta 6 with some of these issues fixed, and videos are playing, or like animation, like recruiting animations are playing properly, and weapons appear on the agent in combat exactly like what you would expect them to be, so the needle gun doesn't look like the Kazuri or something like that, your enjoyment is going to go up further. So be patient. Hopefully it won't be too much longer until beta 6 comes out. I will keep you guys up to date on any information Goofy and the coders provide. If they start sort of feeling out an ETA, you guys will absolutely be the first to know. To the detractors who've clowned the progress of beta 6 over the last year and several months, or to people who have lied and made up things and said, oh, I've talked to the developers, beta 6 will never happen, it's too buggy, or it's going to be 2030 before beta 6 shows up like that, or it's never going to be happening, it's the biggest con of all time. You guys are going to learn a lesson real quick about this. Things do take time. The coding team has been very public about what has slowed them down since, at the very least, the summer of 24. There's been a number of people who've had real life events happen, and a bunch of them have talked about it publicly, and that's why I've been able to talk about it in some of the videos. As long as they make it public, I can talk about it in a video. If it's privately told to me, I'm not going to air somebody's laundry out in a video and everything. But most of what has slowed the coders down, especially in the summer and the very early fall, has gotten out of the way. So they've been going pretty hard and fast on this. And that's during the holiday season. Don't forget, these people have lives. They have family. They go away for Thanksgiving. Family comes to them. They need to cook. I have family in town for Christmas for me. So they're making time during this crazy holiday season. And believe me, things here in the States are super crazy right now. They're doing their level best. And this is probably the brightest light at the end of the tunnel for everybody's patience over here. So give it a little bit longer. If I find out any more information, of course, I'll let you guys know. I'll tag Open Portal Games like I did in the last video, and Alpha. Going to tag all those guys so they have their updates and they can translate it to the Portuguese-speaking crowd and the Spanish-speaking crowd that monitors the progress of this. But we're getting there. Streaming will still be in 5.9. The videos I put up on YouTube will still be 5.9 for a little bit while longer. Goofy has told me he has an idea when he wants me to start putting the videos out that are filmed in beta 6 before it is completely out there. But consider this an official announcement that beta 6 is now in the hands of all the testers, and that's the build that we're going to be working on. So any of those bugs are going directly into immediate patches, and we'll download the patches and rerun the issues and make sure they're all secured, and it'll be in your guys' hands, hopefully, in the near future. So it's not coal in your stocking. Maybe it's not that Nintendo 64 box that you wanted and ripped open the wrapping paper and started pawing at the box with your sister screaming Nintendo 64. It's not that. But consider it a rain check that your parents tried to get you the Nintendo 64, but it was out of stock in the store. But they have a little piece of paper that says when it comes into the store, they get first dibs. So consider it that. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. And I'm sure I'll be seeing you guys before the New Year. But if I don't, have a Happy New Year. Take care, everybody.